Union has bemoaned the fact that NSFAS only funds students for 10 months of the year, while medical students are required to attend school for 12 months. NSFAS had previously committed to funding medical students for December and January, but SAMSU says they have seen no action despite inquiries. SAMSU spokesperson Ambrose Lekalakala joins us now for more on this conversation. Ambrose, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, you've raised major concerns as students, as medical students in South Africa, and saying that there seems to be issues when it comes to your payments which are due to you from NSFAS.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I was saying that if you could please outline the concerns that you have raised when it comes to, the stipend that you as the students are expected to receive during the months of December and January.
No, thank you for having me, and greetings to all the viewers. My name is Ambrose Lekalakala. I'm the Secretary General for the South African Medical Student Union, and we represent medical students across the country advocating for academic excellence and a strong healthcare future. So today we are here to address a critical funding gap affecting the well-being and success of medical students in South Africa, an issue that demands urgent attention. The majority of medical students in South Africa rely on NSFAS funding, which is essential for covering academic and living expenses. However, the current funding model only covers the period from February to November, leading to students unsupported in the month of January and in the month of December. During these 2 months, students struggle to afford basic necessities such as accommodation, meals, creating financial insecurity that affects their physical well-being, mental health, and academic performance. This situation is severe. Medical students are preparing to become doctors that our nation will depend on, are faced with the extreme challenges. Some cannot afford shelters or adequate nutrition.
And Ambrose, maybe if you can just give us a bit of insight when it comes to the issues that you are raising now and the fact that, NSFAS has said that it won't be able to pay students for December and January. Maybe if you can just let us know, have you been given reasons as to why NSFAS is unable to pay you for December and January?
So we've written to NSFAS CEO on the 16th of August 2024 requesting a meeting to address this urgent issue. However, we have not been responded to. It has been 3 months now. We've also written to the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Kavan, on the 2 months ago, which we have not yet received a response as yet. However, it was around 6 this afternoon, after we had scheduled for this interview, that I received a call from the administrator of NSFAS, whom said to me that they have not received our emails. They only received it from SABC. However, he did indicate that they are committed to resolve this issue because it's clear to everyone that it's really unfair and unjust to have medical students in universities in January and in December with no allowances, knowing very well that by them qualifying to have NSFAS, it basically means they do not afford to have anything to buy food or even to pay accommodation in those 2 months.
And what does this intervention now mean for you as students, particularly if you've raised these issues before, but it seems as if it's fallen on deaf ears, and only now when we are requesting some sort of, right of reply from NSFAS, that it seems as if now they are willing to hear your plea?
We're actually hopeful that there's going to be a decisive intervention, and of course an amicable solution to all is going to be established. So we are of the correct view that if there's going to be that intervention from the NSFAS itself, the students are going to be happy In fact, I was engaging with our leaders from all the 10 medical schools, and they did indicate to me that it's something that we all as medical students are going to be happy once it has been resolved, because now it is still talking. There hasn't been an action as far. So we'll only be happy once it has been resolved.
And have they committed to some sort of date where they can meet you as the South African Medical Students Union?
The administrator has said to me in 2 or 3 days we can schedule a meeting. I currently have the contact details, which I believe that we can try to do a follow-up and say, let us schedule a meeting. Of course, once we get into contact each other, is then that we can be able to then schedule a meeting. But I want to believe that as urgent as this matter is, there should be a meeting scheduled for earlier, in fact, this week or even next week.
And what would you like to see as medical students, especially now that you have seen that it seems as if they are fast-tracking this meeting? Because, I mean, December is around the corner here.
We call on the NSFAS leadership, including the leadership of the department, to say, please make decisive intervention so that our students who are going to be in campuses in December, and most importantly, those that are going to be there in January. It has been proven that South Africa in January, we struggle the whole country. So to say students by the 7th of January, they must be in their respective university, but without them having any allowance is something that really it is unacceptable, and of course unjust. That gives trace to, in South Africa, it's a country that has a history of apartheid, where education was depending on the color of the skin, even medical education. But currently, 30 years into democracy, we've got a new form of apartheid that does no longer depend on the color of your skin, but the depth of your pocket. So we call on the department, including NSFAS, to say, please make a decisive intervention to ensure that the right to education and, of course, the health of our own future doctors is therefore being protected.
All right, Ambrose, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Ambrose Lekalakala. He is the spokesperson for the South African Medical Students Union, of course, calling for the interventions there by NSFAS and hoping that that meeting that is expected to take place later this week will bear fruit for students.